What's up, crypto legends? We are taking a look at the higher time frame for Bitcoin. This is the zone where it's going to get very interesting in the next coming days. Now, we'll be taking a look at the lower time frames to understand what would be a sign of weakness for the price of Bitcoin and also a sign of strength to go to much higher levels. We're taking a look at the liquidity and also some interesting news and data that is out, guys. So make sure to stay tuned till the very end. Now, quick announcement here. We have partnered with Bybit and 𝗬𝗫. You got the best deals with the link down below in the description for Bybit, $30,000 deposit bonus and 20% fee reduction. If you don't want to do KYC just with an email and password, you can sign up for 𝗬𝗫. They have the lowest fees at the moment and also that deposit bonus of $20,000. Let's crack on, guys. Let's not waste any more time. Now, analyzing the situation where we are currently, we've been extremely bullish. Momentum is continuing. There is FOMO for institutions, but there is some interesting data that I want to share with you afterwards here, looking at the news that probably not much retail are in just yet. Now, analyzing the scenario, guys, let's just go here with pure technical analysis, because this is pure technical analysis. When we do take a look at the last range here from the bull cycle, right, it's good to see the data from the past to analyze, okay, what's happened with certain indicators and tools, right, such as the value area high here from this trading range that was formed during 2017 and 2018. Also taking a look at Fibonacci from the all-time high, just almost hitting $20,000 to the low. We can see how that 618 Fibonacci was respected very nicely to get that major pullback. We tried to break here the value area high from that price action from late 2017 and 2018. So it did manage to get quite above it, but then obviously rejecting from that 618 Fibonacci and getting the pullback. Now, when we do zoom in here on this price action that is happening right now and take a look at the fixed volume profile, we've been talking about this during the last few weeks. Value area high is sitting here, well, around about $50,000. We're just at the 61865 Fibonacci here. This is where we are getting this reaction. We had a major leg here to the upside. Now, I was one of the guys that personally thought that this movement was actually bearish. This movement down right there, breaking the structure. However, we know that there is that possibility of that automatic rally, okay, for an ABC scenario. This is still very much on the cards, guys, and I'll be explaining that on the lower time frame. We know Fibonacci time. The timing is extremely important. Would it make sense for the price action to continue to $60,000 in the coming weeks without getting a big major consolidation or actually a retracement, okay, and then have that momentum to the upside? There is a scenario here, an insane bullish case scenario, where that is here that we have a 1-2-1-2 and Elliott wave theory, and then we forming that massive explosive third wave to the upside, okay, after the halving. This is definitely a massive scenario. You could count this as a 1-2-1-2 setup, and then we're going to get a massive third wave just after the halving, okay, mid-late 2024, breaking that all-time high. The ultimate bearish case scenario, of course, would be, all right, there's a recession kicking in, interest rates are going to go down, but that is usually when recessions start to kick in, not when interest rates are up. So what we do have, obviously, is that movement to the downside here in an A wave, and this is the B wave already forming that third wave right now, that C wave. That is definitely a scenario. I mean, this would be an ultimate bearish case scenario with what is happening currently with the ETF. There's other fund managers, you know, applying for a spot Bitcoin ETF. You know, the FOMO for institutions is very much real, okay, and it will continue. The inflows are absolutely crazy. So the bearish case scenario, I think, is going to be unlikely. The bullish case scenario is more likely. That is if we were to get a pullback down to $39,000. It seems like unrealistic right now because we're above $10,000 from that level. Remember, those pullbacks of $10,000 here right now can very much happen because we had that once we had that spot Bitcoin ETF approval in January. The price dropped in less than a week over $10,000. It was a massive move in just around about 1 to 2 weeks approximately. So thinking that we could not come down to $39,000 is very foolish in my opinion. Yes, I am bullish on Bitcoin long term. I am bullish for after the halving. I think this bull cycle will likely continue, but we're just aware about the pullbacks to give us much better prices, right? Looking at the timing, it doesn't make sense for the price to go to $60,000 in the coming weeks, right? It just would not make sense. However, maybe these times are different. The FOMO is real for institutions. Now let's zoom in on the lower time frames here and analyze the situation here. Now, of course, we have the ABC scenario that could be happening here in the coming weeks. However, we also have the massive bullish one, which is this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2 in this symmetrical triangle. We are inside of the third wave. We're possibly going to form a fourth wave and then a fifth wave going to much higher levels. That would be insanely bullish if we were to start forming these counts. Now, until that happens, of course, we're going to talk about the different scenarios, also the bearish one. Losing this low right over here, this high, at $49,000, which was the peak here from the ETF approval in January, losing this level with some intense volume would definitely be a sign of weakness. It could give us the possibility that this is going to be an ABC flat. Now, the corrective moves move in three-wave structures. This has been very impulsively to the downside. There's no really a three-wave move right there with this corrective move. It has also been very shallow in time. When we do take a look at the lowest level here, which was this one, not counting the wick, on most of the exchanges it was this low right there, till the ultimate high level, we can see here that it's just very shallow in time for a pullback. You know, it could extend all the way till April even from this massive move to the upside. That is if we were to get that corrective move during the next coming weeks. So this is very shallow for a pullback in my personal opinion. Understanding that these pullbacks, okay, do take time. We take a look at the pivot low here to the pivot high right there. This was obviously an ABC flat scenario. We always need to consider the both scenarios, of course, and the bullish one still is possible. So if we do lose this high right there, you know, you could consider, okay, maybe this is part of an ABC. However, we can still consider that this might be one wave, 2, 3, and we are in the fourth wave and we're going to form that fifth wave. So that doesn't mean anything. We could lose the high right there, create a bit of a failed auction, and everybody's getting bearish. It's a double top and then get the next leg up. So what are the most important levels that we need to take into consideration? For me, it is pretty obvious. It is the value area high range here, and also taking a look at Fibonacci from the pivot low of this 1-2 wave right there. If we get the highs, if this were to be the high or slightly higher, we are considering definitely the 618 Fibonacci. Of course, that would be too much for a fourth wave, so there will definitely be doubt here that if we come all the way down here for a fourth wave, you should not hit the 618. It should be in between the 0.236 and the 50%. So it's going to be very, very difficult here to understand that if this is going to be a fourth wave and move to the upside. If we come as low as this, no doubt this would be an instant bounce at this range, value area high 618, and get an instant bounce. But I would not see this as a fourth wave. I would see this as a one wave down inside of the C corrective structure. That would be quite bearish. So the levels that we need to consider here for a fourth wave, if this were to be the high, if we go to $51,000, is that 382 50% Fibonacci, which is the common zone for a fourth wave. Now, looking at this area, there is really not much levels of support. It's just been a major rally to the upside during the last few days. Now, when we do take a look at fixed volume profile from this consolidation, we can see that the point of control here from this range is sitting just slightly beneath the 50% Fibonacci retracement. We need to take it into consideration. This volume did get a small reaction here on the way up, but exploded out. So 50% at 46,300 is where we do have that high volume node from this consolidation when we got the ETF approval. Something to take into consideration, it would be kind of the ultimate level for the price of Bitcoin to form a possible fourth wave, then get another wave to the upside. If we start losing this range going to the 618, for me that is already going to be a bearish sign. Any bounces happening from this level is likely going to be a lower high, in my opinion, if we were to get a major pullback all the way down below $45,000 range. Now, like I said, the moment that I would see weakness, okay, a sign of proper weakness would be getting a breakdown here from the highs created on the ETF news event. So what I want to see here, what we are seeing here as well, is the volume decreasing from this point, right? You're forming higher highs and volume is decreasing. That is what you want to see here for the possible bearish case scenario. If not, you would have exploded out with massive volume. Then obviously that is very much bullish and you would be looking for higher levels. But with this breakout above the high here from the ETF news with very low volume, something to be cautious about. If we were to get that breakdown here beneath the highs with insane red volume, that is something to take into consideration. There could be a dead cat bounce. I would be looking for a lower high for another leg to the downside. Now, this is going to be the moment of doubt. You know, is this going to be a 1, 2, 3 wave, okay, ABC, in an ABC wave? Possibly for a fourth wave creation, we're going to have to be checking here the $46,000-$45,000 range, because that is in between 382 Fibonacci from the pivot low here of this possible second wave to the high. 382 Fibonacci, 50%, $46,000 range. We have that high volume node of this consolidation. That is what we want to see here to hold as major support. Claiming these lows, definitely a possibility that you could create a swing failure pattern when we do zoom in on the lower time frames, looking at this possible fourth wave. If we were to come down here, then yeah, we are taking into consideration here these lows. However, it's not too much confluence when we do take a look at Fibonacci here, 382, 50%. It's going to be a difficult zone. The best scenario here, obviously, if we were to get a leg down and we form a three-wave structure and a possible ABC in this fourth wave, we're going to have to check the reaction here at this zone, be looking for those double bottoms, the wedgie structure formation to consider a bullish breakout, okay? So it's going to take some time if we were to start correcting. Now, looking at the more bullish case scenario, I do see the price possibly going to higher levels. If we were to move up here, the level that I'm watching here is that weekly daily. For the moment, price is going sideways. Let's see if we do get one more leg up here. And obviously, I do expect an instant pullback here, maybe of just a few $100s. But this is the zone where I would be looking for the price to get exhausted. If we do get exhausted here at this range, then obviously we'll be looking for that possible short position. But I need that sideways momentum. We need that rollover for speculation here that the price could get a major reversal. Not much more here to say locally, guys. Now we're currently ranging. There has been a couple of good trading opportunities, and that is purely based on a major range, guys. When you're ranging, there is great opportunities. We can see here how we created a swing failure pattern from these local lows right over here, testing the value area low from this consolidation during the last 24 hours. Swing failure pattern from the lows as you were creating insane bullish CVD divergence. You're forming higher lows here with the price action locally, and on most of the exchanges still creating lower lows, giving that instant bounce for a take profit zone here, which was the VWAP, right? Really nice when we're ranging here. Great opportunities where you have an instant move here to the downside, bounce from value area low, you're bouncing to the VWAP, rejecting from the VWAP here beautifully. We are forming bearish CVD divergence on Bybit. You can see here how Bybit is going absolutely crazy. A lot of retail longing right there as you're forming lower highs, getting absorbed, getting this major pullback at the moment during the last hour. So we need to also day trade and look for these major opportunities inside of these ranges, guys. I mean, this is a long into a possible short, take profit. As long as we have these ranges, they are extremely good for those day trading setups. So higher time frames, guys, yes, no doubt. We are a little bit in a kind of a pennant right there. We could get that breakdown. Maybe these highs are possibly going to get a reaction, or depending on the reaction here, then we'll be looking for those opportunities, see if it's going to hold, looking for a long position. If we were to move up here, guys, this is the zone where I expect exhaustion, a quick reaction at that level, probably good for a little scalp at that weekly at $50,800. And if we start ranging here and getting exhausted, I will be looking for a possible swing short position. That is only if we form a range. As long as we're above that weekly and the price is punchy, then off we go. We might go to $52,000, $53,000 in the next coming days. If you want more details into those trading opportunities, you want to join the Legends trading community. This is where I post every day the possible setups and updates here on the lower time frames to look for those day trading opportunities. Let's go with the liquidity, guys. Something very disturbing about this is the liquidity that we have below $50,000, more basically beneath $58,000 and 48, 46, 44. The liquidity is insane. And after this major run up, okay, we know when the price of Bitcoin drops, it drops very fast. I want people to just be calm. It's something that could happen, right? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it could definitely much happen, okay, with this massive run up, okay? Usually the drops are much faster than the pumps. When we pump, it takes days and weeks to form a nice uptrend, and then suddenly we get a massive candle to the downside in a matter of a few days. It's just something to be warned about. We do have quite a significant liquidity at $50,500, so we might just get that liquidity and continue to the upside here on the lower time frames. Now, going right away here with the news and data that is happening, guys. Remember, if you are interested in trading, we have partnered with Bybit and 𝗖𝗺. You get the best deals down below with the links in the description. Bybit, 30K bonus, 20% fee reduction. 𝗖𝗺, no KYC, just with an email and a password. You also get the lowest fees there and $20,000 worth of bonus. Diving in here through the news, guys. Big breaking, ETFs are buying 12.5x more Bitcoin per day than BTC network can produce. The mining is only supplying not even 10%, okay, of what the ETFs have been buying during the last few days. Absolutely crazy. You can see here how the supply and demand is just absolutely crazy to the upside on the buying pressure that there is. This is insanely bullish for the next coming months. It seems like that the guys are going to be buying more Bitcoin every single week. It is a kind of a gold rush, digital gold rush that is happening right now with the institutions. Going forward with some more things going on, of course, in the crypto space. Franklin Templeton, a 1.5 trillion asset manager, has applied for a spot Ethereum ETF. So is Ethereum ready for a massive run up here? Speculating on that ETF approval possibly in May, and obviously looking for much more upside potential in the coming weeks. Definitely worth to have some Ethereum in the portfolio. In my personal opinion, of course, no financial advice. I have a bunch of Ethereum as well. Now, taking a look at some news here going on is Bitcoin is now the 10th largest asset in the world by market capitalization, surpassing giants such as JP Morgan, Berkshire Hathaway, Tesla, and Visa. So moving up here, if Bitcoin is digital gold, and gold right now is a 13 trillion market cap, and Bitcoin's not even hitting the 1 trillion just yet, the upside potential with the ETFs is just absolutely insane. $5 trillion of market cap for Bitcoin, that would take the price to over $200,000. Very much realistic for the next coming years, legends. Now let's go right away here. Bitcoin not trending yet on Google the last 12 months. Even with the price moving over 200% here the last year, I guess 2024 and 2025 bull market will be epic as retail are not in yet. And when retail is in, obviously, that is when you want to get out, right? You can see here 2021 when retail was hyping up here on Google Bitcoin search, and obviously that is when the 2022 bear market was in. So Google here, to understand where the top could be here based on retail, is going to be a good indicator, okay? So make sure to go to Google Trends once Bitcoin is probably breaking all-time high or going to 100K or 200K. If there is FOMO on Google search here for Bitcoin, make sure to realize that the top could be in, because you'll be having those people buying at 60K, 100K, $150,000, wherever the high could be here for Bitcoin. So no doubt it would be a good moment to start scaling out. Something to know for the next 1 to 2 years, guys. Make sure to take that into consideration. Not much more has to be said here on this video, guys. I'll be doing a live stream afterwards, so make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out my Bybit tutorial to learn how to trade on that platform, legends, and I'll see you in the next one.